Hello everybody and welcome to a little bit different live today. Today we're going to be talking about my opinion on certain PCOS supplements. So without further ado, let's do this. So hello everybody. I thought it's going to be fun to do a little bit more active video. I see that we have Beth tuning in. Hello Beth, I'm very glad that you are watching. Hopefully I'm going to get some input from you as well on our today's subject. So what I want to do today is kind of round up a lot of stuff that I've been talking about and kind of give you my opinion on certain supplements, and do I think that they're really that important? Should you, invest to buy them? From my scientific research, from my experience, from experience of other women that I have seen around. So this is what we are going to be going through. Now, I want to specify that, of course, every single person's situation is going to be a little bit different. So it might be that, your situation is going to be a little harder and maybe you need a little extra help. And once I'm going through those supplements, I'm going to be explaining it a little bit more in depth. So this should be super fun because it's kind of like gathering all the knowledge, and there's one point that I really want to get across. Now, just before we start, I have to tell you that I am not a medical professional. This is not a medical advice. So if you need the help of medical professional, please make sure you contact them, not me. I am just a girl reading scientific articles on the internet. So let's, without further ado, let's start with supplements. If you have any most common supplements, by the way, if you're watching, if you have the most common supplements for PCOS, please drop them in the comments right now. So I make sure that I speak about them as well to the best of my knowledge. We might Google some extra stuff if we need to, etc. So I want to start with berberine. And as you know, I am a brand new user of berberine. And again, I'm going to do the whole kind of like vlog checkups video about what do I think about it and how it has been working out for me. However, basing it on scientific research, I would say that berberine is probably, in my opinion, again, one of the most important supplements for PCOS. So I created a little board here where I'm going to be putting what I think is a must-have for PCOS, what I think is a maybe, and what is rarely, so I mean, not so many women need it, or it's rarely very necessary for you to use it because it's almost like, okay, if I have a little extra money, I might try it. It's not going to hurt me, right? So first up, we have berberine. And berberine, for myself, from my opinion, and from the amount of the scientific research that has been made on it, goes to must-haves. I'm going to explain in a minute. So I'm putting berberine. And, it's squeaky. I want to explain why. 70% of women with PCOS have insulin resistance, very strong, or some level of insulin resistance. So this is, of course, for a majority. If you have very lean type of PCOS, I've recently heard that, kind of genetic type of PCOS is not connected to insulin resistance. I don't know. In my case, I have insulin resistance running in my family, which I think results in PCOS. But for 70% of women who have insulin resistance with PCOS, berberine is one of the best studied supplements that I have found out there. there are plenty of studies showing berberine affects both of women and men, and showing how much it changes your glucose metabolism, how much it can aid your weight loss, even because it has been proven to be even more efficacious than metformin for weight loss. If you haven't seen my video, berberine versus metformin, make sure you do so. There has been one study that actually showed that if it goes to circumference, you know what I mean, the waist to hip ratio, the better results were achieved with berberine than with metformin. And that's why I would put it definitely into our must-haves. Now, the next one is inositol. And also inositol, I'm going to put to must-haves, and I'm going to explain why. Now, inositol is a must-have, but that might be used possibly for someone who has a little bit lower rate of insulin resistance. I know that some people use berberine and inositol together, and you might try to do that. You have to check if it works for you, if it's not too much for your body, because inositol is also supposed to make our cells a little bit more sensitive towards insulin, right? So it also helps our ovaries. It works like berberine, but it's a little bit more delicate, I would say. So you might give it a try. It's important if you're thinking about inositol, if you're going to get it, you should take Mayo plus D Cairo 40-1. Now, what you might also think about is to take a supplement that has folate in it. And I actually, after I finished this video, I found really good supplement, because ovacetol, for example, is very well known for doing Mayo to D Cairo 40-1 inositol. However, it's very expensive because I think that they were the first ones that started doing it, or maybe just the ones that were promoted the best. And there are also a lot of studies that Mayo inositol plus folate works very good. So I have found on Amazon, I think it's a quite new company. They have Mayo and D-Cairo inositol with extra folate in it. So it also has been proven to actually improve your insulin resistance and to improve insulin sensitivity in your ovaries, and also helping you ovulate. So this is definitely must have. Now you can choose. Let's take a red one. You can choose either or if you want to, you can try taking both. It definitely shouldn't be too strong. Now, another thing is vitamin D. And vitamin D, oh, Nene is watching. Hi, Nene. Love to see you. Love to see you here. Nene is giving me the best ideas for videos. So give her a shout. Another thing is going to be vitamin D. And vitamin D, for majority of you who are watching, I would put in a must-have. However, it's a little bit, because I don't need vitamin D. I'm going to explain to you why. Vitamin D. Majority of women with PCOS have been tested, and majority of them were depleted in vitamin D. I think myself that this is not only women with PCOS, because majority of people living in a cooler climate have deficiency in vitamin D. I used to live in northern Sweden. I, as an additional thing, have a thyroid problem, and now this is being quite tan. Chanel is Nene is saying thanks, glad to help. Chanel is saying great job on the video. Thank you so much, guys. So I think that in general, vitamin D is very, very necessary, especially in those climates. So majority of my viewers are from US. So if you're not living in California or any super southern state, you might be depleted in vitamin D. And also a lot of us work still in the offices. So even in the sunny island of Tenerife that I just have outside, I actually have a little bit of a tan. So now I don't need vitamin D because I am trying to be in the sun every day. But I know that for majority of people, it's not an option to walk out on the balcony and grab 20 minutes of sun. I also have quite fair skin if I'm not tanned. This is my skin color. And in northern hemispheres, having that fair skin color, which should give me advantage in getting vitamin D, didn't help at all. So especially with people who have a darker skin tone and live in the more northern latitudes, vitamin D is absolutely very, very, very important. So I would say, you know, maybe, but this really maybe is just for a few of us who probably live in a hot climate. Now, another thing is vitamin B12. And vitamin B12, I'm going to put in maybe. Let me explain. To be fair, vitamin B12 is, of course, part of B vitamins, I mean, clearly. B vitamins are generally very, very important. And I am a big fan of B vitamins because B vitamins are very quickly depleted by stress, for example. So vitamin B1 and B2 very quickly depleted by stress. I think B1 more than B2. Now don't quote me on that. So I think that getting vitamin B is very, very important, especially that stuff like coffee, from, if I remember correctly, can deplete you even further. And majority of us are stressed, and majority of us drink coffee. So vitamin B12 might be necessary already from that. If you're vegan, of course, you need extra vitamin B12. And there's one big reason why I also decided to include vitamin B. Okay, we have a question. Naima, I'm going to come back to it in a second. So if it goes to vitamin B, why did I even include it in PCOS video? And that is because people who take metformin are depleted. Metformin are depleted in vitamin B12. Metformin actually, makes you depleted. It's simple as that. I don't know if it's just that you're not ingesting it. I'm guessing so. But a lot of people who take metformin definitely would have to take B12. But as I said, if you're a meat eater, if you don't take metformin, you might not have to take it, right? But maybe because a lot of us women, because of insulin resistance, are on metformin, and if you are on metformin, you're gonna have to take B12. Let's see the questions that we have. Beth is saying, I think from tracking my chronometer, I eat more than enough chicken and eggs for B12. Yes, it is always good also to check if it's actually being ingested, because sometimes we eat enough of the foods. I very often had that, but because my digestive system is not that great, I am still sometimes depleted. So for example, with vitamin D, my body, even though I was taking pills quite strong, wasn't ingesting it. It also would be better probably in oil form, but that is what I had at the time. Naima says, what about the dosages both for berberine and inositol? Let's maybe write it down here straight away. Berberine you should be taking 3 times 500 milligrams per day, and preferably with the meal. Berberine has to be taken 3 times a day. You shouldn't be taking 1,500 milligrams at one time, because you shouldn't. Because the whole point is that you want to keep the sugar at a certain level. So you eat the food, you take berberine with it, and it keeps you on a level. Now, from what I remember, and I'm sure Beth will know this, I think inositol, myo-inositol should be something like 2,000 milligrams. What is 40 to 1 to 50? Am I saying right? Nothing better than to doing maths on camera. Let me divide 2,000 by 40. I think it's 2,000 to 5. Yeah. But if you buy supplement, they're going to give you, usually with those supplements, you already have a dosage written. So I can't remember if it's twice 2,000 plus 50 or it is once 2,000 by 50, but something about that. But berberine is definitely 3 times 500. We have a special guest, guys. This is my cat Karma. She wanted to say hi. Do you want to speak about supplements? No? Okay, you go. So next thing we're going to have, now full of cat hair. Next thing we are going to have is going to be omega-3 fatty acids. And there again, we are going to put it in maybe. And we're going to tell you what is my stipulation there. Omega-3s. As a supplement, everybody should be having omega-3 in their diets. Now, some of us are lucky enough to not be vegan, however that sounded, not lucky enough, but some of us are not vegan. So some of us can eat fatty fish. You know, even if you are a vegan, you might be eating precursors to omega-3s like flaxseed and this type of stuff, right? That have precursors, whether they transform very well in your body. It depends. It's a personal thing in your body. And for some reason, my cat decided to freaking annoy me. So yeah, omega-3s you might want to take as a supplement, but if you have enough in your diet, you don't have to, right? So make sure that you get enough, make sure that you actually reduce the omega-6 in your diet. So red meats, pork, beef, bacon, cheese, heavy cream, all sorts of stuff like that. And make sure you balance them out with the good fats, olive oil. Olive oil has 6 as well, though. But like omega-3s. We have I know my cat is cute. Now we're going to go further to adaptogens. And guys, this is going to be controversial because that is my experience. And you might not necessarily agree with me, but I put adaptogenic herbs as a group too rarely. Now, why am I saying that? In my opinion, if you have PCOS, majority of your problems stem from the root causes insulin resistance. Because very often, anxiety, depression, more anxiety than anything, comes from high androgens, which comes from insulin resistance. So I would say that it is almost like the third tier. So you take berberine, and berberine will sort your insulin resistance. Therefore, it will lower your androgens, and therefore it should reduce your anxiety. If this is hormonal anxiety connected to high testosterone, we can have different types of anxieties, connected to something else, right? But in case of PCOS, I think it's a luxury. I don't think it's a must-have. I think those are definitely more important for you to make your body function very, very well. And those have been proven, that your body needs them, especially vitamin D, and that they work very, very well, almost as good as medication. They have been scientifically proven. With adaptogens, it's kind of like still anecdotal evidence. It's not quantifiable. So I would say, sure, if you have money to buy, the omega-3s, fantastic quality, and then splurge some on adaptogens, great. But that is the last thing that I would be thinking about if I were you. Another thing is NAC. And I've been thinking about it, guys. I'm going to put it in maybe. Now, why is it in maybe? NAC is proven to work very, very well for women with PCOS for many reasons. It has a lot of benefits, including, I think, improvement in ovulation, but also it helps a lot with inflammation in the body. But why is it a maybe? Because it stopped being available in US. I never took NAC, but I know that a lot of PCOS nutritionists actually recommend it. It's supposed to be backed up by, I probably should make a separate video about NAC, by the way. It's been backed up by science a little bit, but because it's not available, I don't know if it's that necessary that you should try to find illegal ways to import it to US to get it. If you're in Europe, sure, go for it. Check how it works for you. Now, Vitex. Again, my opinion. Rarely. Now, some women swear by Vitex. Vitex is supposed to work on your progesterone levels. So in general, this is not a big percentage of women with PCOS. I might be wrong here. But what I'm trying to say is, to take Vitex, you should really have the reason for it. You should really have proven that you have, for example, raw progesterone levels. There's something about luteinizing hormone as well, because Vitex can be very powerful, but it can be very tricky as well. So I would say, if you are one of those rare people that actually know that you have what progesterone levels you have, what luteinizing hormones levels you have, you contacted your doctor, because I think it's quite a powerful thing from what I understood, and I took it myself unregulated, and it made me more harm than good. So I would say, you can of course try all of them and see how you're doing, but don't combine them. I mean, don't take them straight away altogether because you won't know what helped you and what hurt you. But Vitex, I would say rarely. Beth says, I 100% agree with adaptogens as a luxury, maybe even a band-aid. Yeah, not really helping with an actual problem. And that for me is the same thing. I had a lot of anxiety for years. I blamed it on PCOS. But what helped me, I did take CBD oil for a little while, but again, it was expensive, very expensive here. And I also think it was a band-aid in my case. Personally, what helped me was therapy, and it turned out I still have PCOS, I still have the same hormonal issues, but what solved it was therapy that was more expensive than adaptogens. But there are certain things that adaptogens won't solve. Now, saw palmetto, guys. By the way, if you want me to put, because I just have 3 more. If you want me to talk about any other one that I missed, please put it in the comments right now. We're going to put saw palmetto in. And again, the reason why I'm putting it here, for the same reason, because saw palmetto is used for DHT very often, so it lowers your DHT levels, so dehydrotestosterone. So very often when we have high testosterone levels, in some women it converts to DHT, and that is supposed to help with that. But how about we address this, address insulin resistance? If we address insulin resistance, our ovaries will not overproduce testosterone, and then we don't need this. So again, it's not necessarily a luxury. You know, you might want to help yourself at the very beginning if you have big problem with, I don't know, hirsutism. You have big problem, and you know that it's DHT that causes you this problem. Then you might want to try it at the beginning, but again, kind of as a supplement to berberine. I really don't think that those 2, especially adaptogens and saw palmetto, are going to give you the best bang for the buck. They're not that powerful. I mean, saw palmetto might be, but I still don't think that it's as long. It has that longevity that actually addressing problem by the root cause. Now, there's going to be one more thing that I'm going to add in must-haves, and it's going to be spearmint. Guys, I'm not native English speaker, so I kept on saying spearmint, and my British boyfriend from Manchester just told me that I was supposed to say spearmint because otherwise it sounds like spearmint. Spearmint. So I've been pronouncing it all wrong in so many videos. Spearmint, I think that's what it is. Beth, you can tell me if spearmint is the right way to pronounce it. So I put it in a must-have, and now you think to yourself, well, that addresses only testosterone levels, right? So why are you putting in must-haves when you've just been talking about saw palmetto, just working on testosterone levels? And the reason is price. I think that it is so cheap in majority of countries to go to supermarket and pick up spearmint tea, or to go to a health food store, or to buy a big bag on Amazon, that it just doesn't hurt you to buy it and have it instead of normal tea. So for that reason, because it's so affordable and it's supposed to work and it tastes good, I think there is, you're not spending a lot of money. Spear like a weapon. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Beth. Beth is my English tutor here for the moment. So it is so cheap that I think it's a great thing to actually give it a bash. I love spearmint tea. I actually found a very good mixture that cost me €1. Spearmint tea and green tea. Very good combination, because green tea has also L-theanine. It helps with inflammation, I think, as well, but L-theanine is a little bit which you can take in supplement as well. It helps you with your nervous system. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put L-theanine here. Although, I think I knew a person who was prescribed that by a psychiatrist as a way of helping anxiety. Again, I think that there are better ways to do that. But I think it is more efficacious than adaptogens, especially before sleep if you have problems unwinding and falling asleep. Sorry guys, I have to take a sip. It's 30-something degrees Celsius here, which will make it, I don't know, 90-something, I think, Fahrenheit. Very hot summer weather. Right, and I'm going to add 2 must-haves that are not really supplements, but are something to add to your repertoire, if you will. So this is going to be cinnamon and ginger. Am I missing any PCOS supplements? Please tell me. I kind of grouped a lot in adaptogens with rhodiola, schisandra, ashwagandha, all of them. Cinnamon and ginger. Very much so. Cinnamon lowers your insulin levels. Ginger helps with inflammation and with insulin. Cheap, in the store. You might put in your tea. Super easy to use. Is it gonna, shake your world? Probably not as much as berberine. But cinnamon and ginger have been proven to be very good for a variety of reasons. For your stomach, for everything. For nausea if you're taking metformin. And for a lot of different things. And cinnamon is helping you regulate blood sugar levels. Yes, what do we have? Magnesium. And magnesium is vital for me in sleep. And I would say this is a very personal thing, because I don't supplement with magnesium, but I eat shitloads of greens. So, magnesium is a good one, because everybody needs magnesium, you see? I don't take magnesium, though, and I'm good. I'm going to put it in maybe. I was actually thinking, should I actually put it on the list before I started this video? Because it feels like it's not only PCOS thing, right? Because we are generally, as a population, we are very, very depleted in magnesium. So a lot of us have that problem with falling asleep. We have cramps, but magnesium regulates a lot of stuff in our body, and it is very toning and it is very calming. And with drinking coffee, with drinking strong tea, we deplete ourselves with magnesium a lot. So I would say maybe. I would say it's a good thing to try for many people in modern world, unless you eat a lot of greens and nuts, which I do, but I might still actually give it a bash. And the good thing about magnesium, I don't put it as a rarely, because what I just said, that is very, very useful, because a lot of people are depleted in magnesium, but it's also not very expensive. If you want to get good types of magnesium, it's the best probably to get. One is citrate, that is quite bioavailable, but it might cause some stomach problems. And the second one I can't remember. But also you can get, Epsom salts, etc. Magnesium is zinc, are big too. Zinc I still put in maybe, because it is cheap, so it's okay. But zinc is very easy to sort out. Is it C? Okay, what am I going on about? Zinc, there you go. Zinc is quite easy to fix with your diet. So maybe yes, but from what I have read, majority of people are not depleted in zinc. Sometimes it's being recommended, for example, for people with acne, because taking a little bit more zinc is like helping with your sebaceous gland, so you're not as oily. And I remember I've been prescribed that by my dermatologist. It helped a little bit. It didn't shake my world. Maybe curcuma or turmeric or whatever you want to say, I would actually put here. You know why? Not as a supplement form, but as a food ingredient. Curcuma / turmeric. It's the same thing, right? Because curcumin is from curcuma in America, turmeric. But use it as a spice. Use it on your food. It's super cheap. So I say must have. And guys, all of those, especially those 3, I think it's a must have, because if you want to have a healthy diet, just incorporate them in. I could add garlic. Garlic is really good for you. It has also anti-inflammatory. You all know that garlic is great. So curcuma, turmeric, absolutely. Buy it in the store. Buy curry. Put curry. A few weeks ago, we were eating noodles. That's how much I work. That what I could do for lunch is noodles. Guys, I talk about all of those stuff being healthy, but I also am a human. So I eat noodles. And we started adding curry to it. And my boyfriend was asking me, it's like, is curry good for you? I'm like, I read the ingredients. There's nothing bad about curry, of course, if it doesn't have any fillers, if it's probably fine quality. But curry spice, in majority of times, curry is actually the mix of spices, so you have to check what is in it. But curry is actually good for you, and it has a lot of turmeric. It's easier to eat. I don't like pure curcuma, pure turmeric. I had a phase. I had a phase where I was doing this. Was it turmeric latte? Let me tell you, this phase finished very quickly. I'd rather stuff myself with ginger. Right, evening primrose oil for PCOS, but I can't remember what it does. Actually, you know what, guys? We're gonna Google it. Evening primrose oil. I've heard of it. But then again, yeah, okay. Let me just show you my Google search at the minute, without going to Google Scholar or anything, because very often it pulls good stuff at the beginning. This is probably not the best source, but let me just change my background quickly. We don't need that in the background. So yeah, by changing the concentration of FHS, luteinizing hormone, and testosterone hormones in PCOS, even in primrose oil, can reduce the complications of these hormonal changes. Great. Sounds great. However, let's see here. This is scientific research. Let's just go to results. Problem is that there have been both. The group had been supplemented with both. So it's supposed to lower cholesterol, testosterone. Well, cholesterol here as well. What I would say, I would put it in maybe, because I have heard of it before. But again, if it works on and I know it's not super cheap. Actually, here in more to this, like somewhere in the middle of the road here, we're gonna put it. Because yeah, if it's been proven to lower testosterone levels, and again, from this little scan, I can't tell, but let's say it did, I would put it somewhere there, because again, if you have problem with PCOS, again, this is probably going to be a root cause that causes this. So I would put it in like in the middle. It's an omega-6 is even primrose oil. I mean, I'm sure that it's not the reason why they put it in, because we have enough omega-6s in our body. Okay. Guys, I think that's enough. What I'm going to put, I don't have any more space. What I would like to end this with is that if you have severe type of PCOS, I don't know, you're overweight, you have hirsutism, you have hair loss, excessive hair growth, I already said, you have acne, you have depression, you have anxiety. There's no shame in taking medication, because I really don't want to be a person here that is going to advocate only for natural supplements. I believe in a lot of supplements having a big impact on our bodies. And I think they're worth taking, some of them more than the others, like we established. But if you're in a very, very bad situation, take your medication and work your way off it, hopefully to do it a little bit more sustainably and do it a little bit more likely. So if you need to try, if you have to take metformin, you can talk to your doctor and maybe show them some studies about berberine. And try to use it as alternative, from a simple reason that metformin makes a lot of people very sick. But if you will have to take it, work your way off it, just to keep you sane and happy and healthy. I think that's the most important thing. I also want to say another thing, that if all of those things, if you are not doing 3 things, sorry, I'm going to do this. Here is going to be counterintuitive, because it's going to be most important, right? If you're not doing this, sleep, healthy food, exercise. And mental hygiene. How do you write hygiene? I think like that. If you are not doing those, adaptogen is going to do nothing for you. You know, if you're not doing this, or if you're gonna eat 17 donuts and then take inositol and hope it's gonna sort the problem, it's not going to. If you're not going to exercise but you're gonna take NAC for your inflammation, it's not gonna actually make it sustainable. So I would say that a lot of those stuff should be the things that go first, and those are the things that are free. And if those things do not work, start working yourself on the board, because we really do not need to. I will share. Sorry, I just saw the comment. I will share. Sorry, let's see. Nene, a video about green tea's benefits would be good, or it could be about various teas in general. Could do that. You spoke about a more affordable brand for inositol. I will share it, guys. If you could, I have it in. Actually, give me a second. I'm going to check it now. I will put it also in the description in this video after I finish, although I say it about a lot of things and then life gets me. But it is what it is. We work a lot. By the way, in the meantime, when I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you about this. So if you like the videos that I'm making and you would like to support the channel and actually help me doing this, a little bit more hours so I can buy back my time to do more of this, feel free to buy me a coffee. There's also my PayPal address in the underneath. Supplements here extortionate. Right now I'm just on one, but it is what it is. Guys, can't find it at the minute. Let me just try. I thought it was in the Berberine video. Inositol. If it's not in this video, then I'm gonna have to refind it. Right, I think I have the link. Let me just double check. Yeah, all right. Pasting it in, guys, in the comments right now. Right, did you get it? This is Amazon link to this new inositol that seemed pretty good to me. Let's see. Alpha lipoic. Oh wow, we have more. Alpha lipoic acid, maca, and hibiscus tea. I would also suggest matcha. I would put them all in rarely, if I'm honest with you. Maca is again rare because it works a lot on estrogen. If you have like low libido, for example, sure. I mean, if you have lower estrogen, sure, maybe, but you have to have it diagnosed. So I put it in ALA, same. Hibiscus tea, same. Matcha probably better because it's not too expensive and you can drink it all the time. I will be making herbal tea PCOS this month. Guys, subscribe to Bevy with Beth. Beth makes videos as well about PCOS. She shows both a little, scientific stuff like me. Plus, she also shows a little bit vlogs and a little bit of her own experience. Make sure that you follow her. Yeah, you got the link? Great, because it didn't go on Facebook. Thank you very much, guys. Time to wrap it up. I've been waffling on for 38 minutes. Make sure that you like this video. It helps me tremendously. It helps my algorithm. I really hope to reach more people with this message, because it's terrifying to me how many people in how many countries, even if it is, from what I noticed, a lot of people who view me and have problems with healthcare are from US and from India. So it's terrifying what a lack of information from the doctors we are getting, especially in those countries. So hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything. Subscribe to my channel. You can buy me a coffee again if you would want to support me. Next week at this time, I will be in plane to Poland. So I will probably have a few pre-recorded videos for you. Soon we will resume doing those lives. So thank you very much again for coming in. This was super fun. I think this format is a little bit more engaging and you seem to enjoy it. So I will talk to you soon, guys, and have a great week.